Hello, one. Hello, all. Welcome to a wonderful Sunday night here with a guest, David, who we hopped on an Eliminator stream a few weeks ago. So now that we have the schedule and kind of could think through it a little bit more, we're gonna hop in another one. So yeah, let's hop in and let's have a good night. GM, everyone. We got Tyler in here. We got Aaron Sandy. We got Casey. We got Star Kindler. We got all the regulars in here. David, how's your Sunday been and how's your night going?
Been pretty good. We're talking about a little flag football action, watching the Jets, my Jets, take on the Lions and the Niners today. Went 1-1 this afternoon. Nice first day that actually felt like summer out there. So
hell yeah. Honestly, it was not very nice where I am, but it's been nice enough where I'm like, okay, at least my mood is better because at least it's sunny out most of the time. So I'll take it for sure.
Yeah.
So we met, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And we did an eliminator. Have you done any since then? Have you, I know, Fantasy Dog Pound has been doing some content. How are you feeling about the eliminator and where are you at with your drafts and everything?
So that one got canceled, right? You remember anyone who saw that one saw some weird drafting go on. So that one got canceled. So, and that was before the schedule. And so that was almost like, kind of felt like we were just theorizing about the construction more and how the advance would work around the type of player you would work and the construction. But I think it's, with the buys coming out and especially with there being certain weeks that are so heavy on the buys at the end of the schedule, I think it really just the whole conversation is just starts now with the schedule. And if it's funny because in the past few weeks we've had Ben Gretsch has put out some awesome content around the eliminator. Honestly, by now, almost anybody who's drafting on Underdog, doing streams or doing content around it has touched on it at somewhat. And that wasn't the case really when we had done it. So now everyone's kind of getting into it. So as far as drafting it, the only other one that I did was the Best Ball Guy did a stream last Saturday.
Okay.
And I hopped in that one. And but other than that, just kind of thinking about it, listening to Gretsch talk through some of his slow picks. I DM'd with him a little bit about some of what I was thinking now that the schedule's out. And he kind of framed it as and I think it makes sense as a starting point to just think about it as you can aim to cash maybe easier if you don't have buys in the beginning of the schedule and you have it towards the end. And it works because there's so many teams at the end of the schedule. I mean, you have 12 between weeks 12 and 14. And then if you add in week 11, that's another 4 teams. So that's 16 teams. Like half of the league doesn't have the buys till week 11, which is really crazy when you think about it from
it doesn't seem like it
non-fantasy, take it out of this context, it really doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But because the rules are what they are for this contest, and those are the buys, if you're just not drafting any players on buy in the beginning of that schedule, you should have a much better chance of not getting eliminated. It seems fairly straightforward. But then you face the greater likelihood of getting eliminated towards the end of the schedule when you're actually starting to get any money for advancing. So I think it's like 5x maybe by the time you're in week 12 or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's week 12. Where it's like
Yeah. So, but like, you're not really drafting it to 5x it. I mean, it's different now because it's sort of like experimental. So you'd probably be happy if you drafted enough out of your portfolio, had enough of those kind of 5x's to like cover it and just pay for experimenting with this contest for the year. But like what people really want to do is figure out how to win. So it may be tough to win if you have a whole bunch of players that are missing in those weeks where teams have already been winnowed down. Like a lot of the weaker teams are gone out of the pool. And the teams that had their earlier buys that survived having the earlier buys may be like the real super teams when it comes to weeks 12 and 14. So then the interesting thing to think about is like, what are we actually looking at as far as the makeup of the teams when we get to like the traditional finals weeks of like the other contests when the buys are over. So 15, 16, 17, like the
sure.
real money weeks in any of the contests. And we could be looking at the scenario where it's like no one gets really big. How can you get big stacks through from teams in weeks 11, 12, 14? Like it's gonna be really tough. And I was trying to think about how you do it is probably going to be based around like it might be some of the teams that have like the Kyron Williams level hits, the Pukas,
From the
and
super late range, yeah.
that there's going to be a Kyron or a Puka this year. But if you have that kind of player at the end of your draft, that may carry you through and cover for various like overstacking or whatever, just because you just have this random whatever position it happens to be. Maybe it's Ben Sinnott is actually Sam Laporta, and then all the Ben Sinnott teams, because Washington doesn't have a bye till week 14, so he could just be like a cheat code, right? And I'm not saying it's going to happen. I want it to happen very much.
Yeah, of course.
But that would be a huge boost to you because you would have that player all through the schedule. You didn't pay that much, getting a ton of points, whatever. And then I was also, and I realize I'm just kind of like not pausing on any of these points, but to get like the last thought out there, I was also thinking that in a particular year for a contest like this, there's going to be like potentially weird schedule like artifacts that like align with injury. Like maybe you have a short injury that like virtually eliminates teams that have this player from this contest, but like wouldn't really hurt somebody. Might just slightly lower their advance rate in like a normal 14
Sure,
week
like a BPM, yeah.
So like maybe it's like a player misses like a game before their bye and then they're on bye and then they miss the game after the bye and then that's it. And so it's like in a full season tournament, it's not really hurting you that much, but like maybe that player was like a huge player and they got like virtually wiped out. So then like you just happen to be strong enough to carry that kind of player through. And then like that's just randomly like a cheat code in the finals because it's low owned or whatever, or like in the later playoff weeks because like none of your pods have like that player just because he got like knocked way down, ownership rate got knocked way down. And so I think that makes it it's just kind of like a reminder of how much like we don't know. So trying to think about like what are the things that we don't the known unknowns that could affect like how the results of this contest play out, so that like you don't get too locked on to one take of like I'm going to build my portfolio like half this way, half early season, half late season.
Sure, yeah. I don't think I want to be
like,
doing that either. Yeah.
Yeah, or just like I'm just gonna, because then the other idea would be get like you have 8 bye weeks. Try to not have more than 3 players on any of those bye weeks, and try to like get like 2 on each. Basically, it's like the math is like 2.25 players per bye, something like that.
Yeah,
So
kind of
obviously you need a
balance it
couple,
out between your
3.
roster.
Yeah. And then it's just, pick the best, try to value hound and spread your buys. With the theory being like value hounding is roughly, kind of like getting the best players for the bye weeks that are spread out. And then probably you obviously have to take roster construction into play. So when we were first doing it, we were talking like floor, and we were leaning towards maybe having 3 quarterbacks, 3 tight ends, or whatever. And Gretsch especially, and other people obviously, but he was kind of just pushing back on that idea of like, maybe that's like safer and you're going to cash more teams that way, but you're less likely to have the super team that's going to really like get get you to the finals or win a final or whatever.
Yeah,
So
that's kind of still kind of the double condom strategy of just like, okay, it's safe, but it's like,
yeah,
what do you really win when you win? You know what I mean? Okay, maybe
yeah,
I
and I think
5x, but
it was like a 50 last year. Did they do a $10 eliminator, or was it just there was like a 50 and like a $6 little eliminator?
you know
Like I
what?
don't
I
think there
was
was a
not in the eliminator game whatsoever last year,
I
so I
don't
do not know. But I know there's a little eliminator. I don't know what
yeah,
the
there
big one
I
was.
I don't there's no way that they did a 10 and then call it a $6 a little one. That wouldn't make sense. And also I didn't play in a $10 one, so I have a feeling it didn't. If somebody's saying 8, I thought it was 6. But 50 sounds right for the regular one.
For the big one.
So that's why I wouldn't have done. And also it was released way late. So it's kind of like, you know, a little more aggressive to just be like, oh, brand new format, $50 a pop. Like I wasn't there with my time or bankroll. Um,
To be able to
but
fully dive in, yeah.
yeah, so now you have the whole off season, it's $10. So I think it's easier for people to like feel like I'm going to take the swing. Whereas $50, when you're saying, hey, I'm going to 5x my $50, that feels different, right? Um,
100%.
yeah.
It's
So
also just, yeah, people are more willing to just experiment. Like, I mean, obviously there was a little eliminator, but it's like just whatever. It's open the whole
yeah.
time.
The other thing that I want to hear people start to talk more about, and maybe people are in different ways, but like these contests are dynamic in the sense that like we know this, right? Like one thing affects another. So like how we build these teams, first people are kind of building and theorizing at the same time. And then there's the content layer that spreads the theory, spreads people's like actual drafts. And so the more people build in one way, the more it kind of opens up so whatever contrarian side. And like we don't know what dynamics those are going to actually how it's going to play out in the results, but it's like we always have to remember that like it's um it's not like a salary cap game where we're all just having access to the same players for the same numbers, like what is happening in rooms is affecting what somebody else can do. And then how that plays out when there's all this reseeding of pods is like a whole other thing to me. So I'm like very interested to follow if there is like gonna be much of a like competing narratives about this contest, or if it's just gonna fly under the radar enough because it's like not the thing that people are the most interested in. And also like there's weekly winners and they just released the marathon and the sprint. So maybe it's just kind of like yeah, like fly under the radar and people are gonna have some takes and there's gonna be some content, but it's not really gonna be like done to death in the same way that I mean, if you just think about the amount of time, energy devoted to covering like week 17, week 16 versus week 17, all that stuff, like there's probably not going to be anywhere near that kind of focus on anything about this contest.
No.
So there could be all kinds of weird edges. You could find, there could be a few players that just crush this contest. And it's like at the end, we hear all these great ideas, how they were building. It's like, oh, yeah. Why
Yeah,
didn't
I
we
was gonna
think
say
of that?
Fantasy
You
Dog
know?
Pound has been like the one who's like really diving deep on it. I think he's already done like a few streams and try to like bring some data into it as
Yeah. Well,
well.
so even that is like, so that affects the dynamic, right? If you have one person who's streaming every day, who's still building their audience, who already has a large audience, like then the Eliminator's not going to be in the shadows as much because it's already, it's beginning of June, right? So if people are really diving in now, maybe by September, everything I'm saying tonight sounds silly because there's just reams of Eliminator content, and
Information, yeah.
they've already had to do some kind of Eliminator too because the Eliminator fills. Like that's another thing. I'm not sure what this is pacing to fill like, but it does feel kind of difficult to do this in June still compared to like the BBMs, just because like you're beating you at least everybody in your initial group is working with the same information, whereas like you're only with your draft pod in this for the first 2 weeks, right? And then you're just in with everybody
With
else.
a random
Yeah.
group you get put
And
into.
you
Yeah.
don't want dead roster spots. It's like that incomplete information that led to you having dead roster spots in your BBM pod from May. Like other people also had the incomplete information. And so maybe you don't have that's not the best team, but you still advance it, and you still kind of like whatever got that particular entry back. Yeah, this one, it's like the information is so incomplete that maybe the edge now is if you can get the players that are going to be the cheat code players at the very end of the draft. So some of your portfolio that you build early is like more dead roster spots, but some of it is like you banked those like players that are going to rise 8 rounds.
I have a question for you because I was watching a stream, Eliminator stream earlier. How do you feel about now at this time period where we do have less information on some of the guys, like the running backs and wide receivers late, going heavier quarterback and tight end where you can be a little bit more sure of like where the points are coming from later on and kind of front loading your running backs and wide receivers earlier? Do you
I
subscribe
think
to that, or do you
people,
think that's a
I
bad
think
idea?
people, I think some people are more comfortable with some of these tight ends towards the end of drafts and the idea that their points are reliable than I am, for sure. Like
Okay.
like I don't know. I mean, I see somebody click Jonnu Smith, and I'm like, you confident that guy's going to score 40 fantasy points this year? Because like he could score 120,
Could be
but he
Durham
might.
Smythe
Yeah,
of this
yeah,
year.
exactly. Yeah, I have no idea. There's a lot of guys towards the end of the draft I would not feel like, yes, that made my team stronger in almost any format. And then, so the quarterbacks are tougher in this to me than in the other ones. Again, because it's like I tend to think that even though you have some situations where the quarterbacks sit, that on the whole they play sooner than later. So like I lean towards thinking that JJ McCarthy and Drake May are going to play like early in the year, but
Yeah.
like they don't have the same bye, right? Yeah, no. So he's week 6 and Drake May's week 14. So like if you wanted to do those two in the eliminator, that would be kind of interesting because you have one early, one late, but you can't be, if you're not sure that JJ McCarthy is starting the beginning of the season or Drake May is starting the beginning of the season, like you could really be dead right away. And then you got Bo Nix. I really think Bo Nix is going to start week 1. It's very difficult for me to see Zach Wilson or Jared Stidham starting, but
Yeah.
like what if. Yeah, so and then you've got like guys that I just tend not to draft, like Derek Carr. I don't know. Like I'm not real confident it feels like one way or another he keeps finding ways to miss chunks of time. So like I'm not real confident in that click. Like Daniel Jones is week 11. Yeah, like is he gonna?
What is Derek Carr's by?
He's 12. They're 12.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm kind of mixing a conversation of like the quarterbacks and the buys, but I had got printed out the buys so that I could like kind of keep them in in mind in this contest in a different way, and that's why I'm looking at them, thinking about the teams and the quarterbacks. Anyway, yeah, I would feel more confident drafting two elite or one elite quarterback, and then like get one of those from later
Those
in
rookies.
this contest. And then for tight end though, like I would rather not be fishing at the end of the draft in general, because I don't know I don't know you're getting any floor, or I'm not sure you're getting the floor that you think you're getting with some of these guys, and I'm not sure you're getting the upside soon enough for this contest. Like I'm kind of interested in somebody like Jatavion Sanders for a regular contest, but not here.
Yeah,
Like
because
there's
he
just
could just be a complete stone cold
no way.
zero, and you just
I'm not going to draft him as a tight end 2 here, really. And I'm definitely not going to like complete the room with like Jatavion Sanders at the third tight end, like in this, yeah, not in this one. So yeah, I don't know. I think Gretsch kind of like won me over and kind of confirmed. Have you contemplated targeting a single game in a week with heavy buys? Stack that. Hope it goes off. So I think that is I have thought about that. And then what I thought is I have to sit down and really look at the schedule a lot more than I
I was gonna say you kind of have to do some
justify doing
mental
right
math
now.
there to figure out if
Yeah.
you're really gonna galaxy brain it. Yeah.
No, but I think, well, there's a few things. I cannot justify spending that time right now, and I'm not going to draft 150 teams in this contest. But just like in weekly winners, I that's probably the move in terms of like your brain, like doing kind of double duty, is like look at the schedule and think about your weekly winners stuff, and then try to like transition that, like what you think you figured out about like the different games and the different weeks for weekly winners, and like figure out how do I like kind of build that into like morph that into like an eliminator strategy for like when certain guys, when I get certain guys in rounds 1 or 2 or 3, this is where I want to try to go. Like I want to try to build this game, and that means these buys for me. I think that's definitely something that anyone build it, like drafting like maxing this contest, should probably do. They should think to that level, because otherwise you're just kind of like, I don't know, you're kind of just firing darts.
Yeah,
Um,
it's.
yeah, like there's different angles to work in this one, so I think that would be worthwhile.
I'm interested to see who is like. I talked about Fantasy Dog Pound, and I like some other people are doing some eliminator stuff, but I'm like, who's gonna be the eliminator guy or girl or whoever? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who is it gonna be?
Yeah.
Because we're still so early, and like, there's some early front runners, but I feel like it's wide open. So I'm very interested to see.
Well, so this is another dynamic, right? So you have like people are finding, then trying to find content niches, or like and kind of go with that, but they're also maybe are personally inclined to chase one contest versus another, and like then that's going to get maybe a certain following into a certain contest more than they would have otherwise. But like, yeah, it's I think it's different enough that we're we're gonna learn a lot when this one ends, because the other thing is partly what we don't have, what we had from all the BBM stuff, is everyone was so like already streaming it and so deep into like following it.
The weeds, yeah.
Whereas last year, like there isn't all the streams to go back on and everyone kind of pulling up their teams. So, and there wasn't the whole off season of drafting it. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like people don't necessarily even care about the money per se or like winning this contest, but just like I could be the eliminator guy
Yeah.
or gal or whatever, I mean, I do think maxing this contest probably if it's true for anything, but it feels like when it's more of an open frontier and it's a little smaller and a little less solved, then maxing it and trying a number of different things within that max is probably like the way to try to win it. Like I'm not going to win it because I'm not. I don't want to say because I'm not going to max because that makes it sound like if I max in
Then
it,
you
then
would
maybe I
win,
would
yeah.
win. But yeah, on the probably like 10 or so entries that I do, I would be thrilled to see a team make it to like the actual like playoff weeks. So I had that little eliminator to week 14 last year. It'd be cool to
Oh
get one
shit.
15 or 16 this year. Yeah, if I drafted. Yeah, it's true. Put it
So
on
wait,
a
how
bumper
many
sticker.
little eliminators did you do last year?
I only did 6.
And you
Yeah.
got one to week 14? That's pretty sick.
Yeah, so it I think I still like didn't come out on top because I think it was like 5x. So I probably or it was I think yeah,
Almost
probably
broke even.
spent 36 to and 130, something like that. Anyway. Yeah.
What was I gonna say? So yeah, the thing that also I've been noticing is like I definitely don't think the ADPs are like adjusted to the format whatsoever. Like I feel like people are just like anchoring the ADPs from BBM and other contests to this. And like I don't know if it should be that much different, but I do feel like there's certain players where I'm like I just feel like I don't know, like where it's like I feel like there should be a bigger delta between the two different contests, given that they are like
Yeah.
pretty different. I know we're like Brian Ford is saying we're overstating floor. So like I do agree we should still be shooting for the moon, but it's like it is still fundamentally like there's so much more with the bye weeks and everything going into it. I don't
Yeah,
think it should be so similar.
I think that I mean, I don't know how the ADP pool should work, but I guess by the time let's just say it is like self-contained. By the time the actual drafting market like caught up in my mind to where they should be in various differences, like I would probably already be kind of confident about where I thought the differences were. So like I wouldn't like care to have that sort of mental aid in seeing ADP because it's I know what you're saying. It's like even if you disagree with ADP, you're like in what way you disagree with it when
Sure.
it's in this other contest. But now imported to here, you're like, I don't know how much I hate Najee Harris in this one. Like maybe I like him here, or like how
You're like
much
maybe I like
by
him, but I
how
also
many
want
picks?
upside. So do
Yeah,
I
how
like
many
him or
picks
do I not
less
like
do I dislike him in this contest versus another? I think what should matter more than what we think of the scoring profile probably is stuff like um more like the buys and how the game stacks play out and like because it could just like Baltimore and um Houston
Houston?
is so tricky. Like I think everyone when you're building the regular tournaments, you kind of approach that game or those teams. I feel like most people just in on those teams in that game. So if you end up starting to build towards that or having some stuff fall to you, like you just pursue it with a vengeance. And it's like to me, it's like the illogical thing to do. And you sort of just assume that those teams are going to do enough damage throughout the season that even if you're overloaded on buys for week 14, and so you have like a low score in that last regular season week, you're still going to advance, and then you're going to have this potent squad for week 17. But in this, like you can't do that. I mean, you're not going to win, I guess, if you have. So you got to go with kind of like skinny stack stuff. So, yeah, it's like if we were really sure that it's better to have the early season buys because then you're not going to get hurt later in the season. Then like CeeDee Lamb, just by having the week 7 buy should, or let's say Amon-Ra, he's a week 5 buy, so it's like even earlier. Maybe you want to get it out of the way even earlier. That's the theory behind it. I'm not saying it's right, but let's say that's what I'm agreed. Then Amon-Ra should go up. AJ Brown should go up. Like Lamb, maybe just being 2 weeks earlier than CMC is like a tiebreaker,
pushes them up
right?
slightly, yeah.
You know, and again, it's like I'm not trying to say I think that is right, but that kind of stuff to me should matter like more than trying to dissect the scoring profiles a little bit too much, because I think then what happens is you just start to reveal a lot of different stereotypes that like might not even be true about like, oh, this guy's a floor guy. Exactly. And we do it like we were doing it in the first one, like, yeah, this is a better floor pick, and we'll probably do it when we eventually stop talking and draft. We'll probably do it again. But I think that if you do the spread out buys approach, then you don't have to worry about that as much because you're never lacking like in volume of potential scorers. So then it's like, regardless of what you think this potential scoring profile of a particular player is, like you have enough players available that you should have it covered. So like, you know, a couple boom weeks, like you could be missing a quarterback potentially. And if you get a 3 touchdown week from Gabe Davis or something, like that could cover for
Covers
you,
off,
right?
Yeah.
So it's like that idea of like, oh, I got to have this floor guy, like that could backfire, you know, like the boom guys could cover better for other deficiencies on a given week, you know.
100%. That's a very, very good point. Yeah.
And I think Gretsch kind of pointed that out when I was saying like, yeah, you know, missing players and then you're dead. He pointed out just like getting some of those huge weeks from the position players can sometimes even cover over for a 0 from a quarterback. Because you're not trying to win your group. You're just trying to not be like at the very bottom or like the bottom third to 40% in 1 week, I think is the worst. Well, it gets down into the 50s at the end. Tyler had a nice chart. You should have him send you that so you can use that.
Yeah, I have a chart here, but I don't know. I would have to tweet it out or share it.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, do we want to hop in here really quick?
Probably. I wanted to see. Yeah, let's do that before we lose too many of the viewers, the faithful.
We still got 25 in here.
Beautiful. So I should share my screen here.
Yeah, why don't you hop in and then just hop over to? Oh no, you're good. I'm sharing it. So you
Okay.
just hop in and then.
All right. Cool.
Nick saying we should use your flux to, otherwise I'm going to cook my eyes. I do have the blue light blocking glasses, so maybe I'll throw those on so I don't I can go to bed after this. So yeah, I really think I'm like going off of that point of you're saying like that some of the position players can kind of cover off. That pushes me more towards not going for the safe players, and it also makes me lean more towards 2 QB, just knowing that, like you said, like whether it's Gabe Davis or whoever that guy is, like a Brian Thomas or something, where we kind of perceive them as kind of boom bust, like
Yeah.
they can
Look at
just
the
cover
gangs
all.
all here.
Okay, who do we have in here? We got Hoosier, we got
KZ,
Casey,
Star
we got
Kindler.
Star Kindler. Okay, so the boys are here. Gobbler.
Yeah. All right, we're in the 10 spot. Sandwich between Hoosier and Gobbler.
Oh God, it's gonna be a painful draft. We're gonna have to utilize the private chat, which is gonna be hard
Yeah.
considering you're sharing your screen.
You haven't walked me through that. No, I think this is for the good of the people. This is for the market, the meta, to advance the community towards knowing how to play this game. Definitely not going to get anything over on these people. Look at this. Is there a non-badge? Poor Isaac, Hoosier. Hoosier might as well have a badge. He spends all of his time.
I was gonna say Hoosier might be in every stream as well, like just like me. I missed the first 45 minutes of Tyler's stream this morning because I was sleeping, and I still got a little bit.
You said this morning. I did it start in the morning? I feel like it started in the afternoon.
It was no, you're right. It was in the afternoon. It was like 12. I think it started at noon.
All right, people are clicking quick here. So what are we we're gonna take what falls.
Star Killer says he's multi-tabling 3 right now.
People are sick.
Why are you multi-tabling 3 right now?
That's the only way to survive my Eliminator monologues. You have to get in 2.
Just get that dopamine pumping. Okay, so we got Bijan, Brees, Puka.
I wouldn't mind getting a running back and then going with fewer.
Yeah, I'm down for that. If I mean, I don't think Brees is going to follow us here, but
you don't think Hoosier's going to let us have him?
I don't think so.
So who do you want if he doesn't let us have Brees? He does not.
I'm fine going Gibbs and getting one of the other guys, one of the other receivers coming back.
And then build towards a lighter running back room.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about Puka in this format? Because I love
him.
Let's just go Puka. I feel like it's hard to pass up Puka. Honestly, I think he gives you floor and ceiling. Talk about Sortino ratio. I think he kind of gives you both. So.
All right. So if Gibbs comes back, we'll take him. If not, what are you thinking?
What other? Are you a JT or a Saquon guy or no?
Saquon's complicated because I'm an Eagles fan. I don't think. No, now we're on the clock.
Oh, we got Gibbs.
Oh, Gibbs is there, so we'll just take Gibbs. All right,
dude, that's a pretty sick start. That's pretty sick. Oh, we were talking up the room, and then we get
Gobbler is an Ayuk monster, I guess. All right, we're gonna have to talk about that later.
I was gonna say who is his first round? You got Garrett Wilson and Ayuk.
Yep.
The piss boys are pissing.
So we got a 5 and a 12. So, and we've got a running back already, which means to me, when I take a running back in the first round, it's like very rare that I'm going to have more than 5. What about you? Do you have like mental rules like that? Like if I take a running back in round 1, like, then
not hard and fast rules, but I would say generally yes. If I'm taking one in the first 2 rounds, usually the vast majority of the time, I would lean towards 5. But let's see what falls to us. But because if I can get, especially if I can get 3 before round, what is it pick 120-ish probably, or 110 maybe. If I can get 3 before then, I feel like then I'm definitely going 5. I don't love the late running backs right now, just with the lack of information. So I feel like I try to get it all done by pick 160. Not every time, obviously depends on my build. But yeah, I don't know. That's how I've been leaning in most of my drafts.
Yeah, when we did this first one, we were agonizing over our last pick of running back, and then ended up taking Keaton Mitchell. And I was thinking back about that. I felt like I don't really want to be in that position in this
No.
kind of contest.
I mean, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, there's definitely some guys I like, but I'm just like, do I really want to be betting on especially if it's like 5 running backs or whatever. I don't want to be betting on one of those 18th round guys at this point. Like, once we have a little bit more information as to like RB2 spots, I feel like that'll change a lot. But like, we're just in such like a weird information period right now. So, all right. So we will be back up in, let's see.
Yeah. So now it's like this immediately calls out of like things that I would be thinking that are not really relevant here. So I'm looking, you got Kyron and Laporta and Cup. I would be thinking about all of them. Obviously, I don't expect Kyron to fall all the way to us, but
yeah. How do you feel about stacking those bye weeks? Like, how do you feel about stacking those bye weeks? Like, if like getting 2 Detroit guys or 2 Rams guys, like, do you mind it, or are you fine with it? Early.
I would I would not want to take Cup. I don't think Laporte is not an option. So yeah, now we have an option to take one of the early elite quarterbacks. And we don't really care about the stacking element. And Josh plays. Oh no, we didn't get Brees. We have Gibbs. So
I was gonna say, I'm trying to think through week 17 stuff. So okay, so we got DK falling, not falling really, like a 1 pick. You said you don't want to do Cup, 2 guys with the same bye.
Yeah.
So we could go DK or Flowers if we want to go receiver, or I'm fine tapping one of the.
Give me a receiver. You tell me which receiver.
Let's go DK. I feel like I'm pretty bullish on their coordinator, and
if we win because of DK, you'll get more than half the money. Right?
I think it's obligatory 50-50 if we win anything, unfortunately. Fortunately or not fortunately, whatever happens.
I will balance it out by taking a guy that you don't normally take later.
Okay. No, I never take DK. Like, I swear to God, I've probably taken him like 2 times.
I mean, we've got some division correlation, and then we have we've continued to spread out our buys. So we're back up. We gotta. I mean, can we? I don't know if I can pass on a
Josh Allen.
Because then we can just get one guy later. Right?
I like that a lot. Yeah, I feel like.
Do we have a week 12 yet? No, we don't have a week 12 bye yet either. So
I'm down.
Let's do it.
This is a sexy start. I like this. DK slander? It's not slander. It wasn't slandering him. I just said I don't take him a lot, but
you convinced me to take him, and you're getting accused of slander. I hope they're accusing me of slander. You're the reason he's on this team.
I mean, I like him like in real life. I think it's more just I think he is the same guy, but I just think it's the offense and like the court, and honestly just removing. Sometimes it's addition by subtraction. I think not having
Three straight
Carroll there, like, I just think that is just huge. I am a Geno truther as well, so I don't know. I like the Seahawks, and
I'm not like anti DK. I just have a hard time taking him.
I don't take
where he goes. Like, I think if he was in round 4, I would take him a lot more than in round 3. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm one of those people who drafts JSN though, So I feel like the overlap between JSN, the Venn diagram of like JSN drafters and DK drafters, is like there's just like a sliver in the middle.
100%. No, the thing is I don't think I'm really either, which I probably should be one or the other, right? Like
Maybe you're just a Lockett and the running backs guy,
I'm definitely a Lockett guy in Dynasty because you can get him in like the 15th round and it's like a free 10 or 11 points a game. But I mean, I don't know. I don't hate him, but yeah, I don't know. That is so funny. You're right. Like if I'm not a DK guy, I should be a JSN guy. If I'm not a JSN guy, I should be a DK guy, but I'm just neither.
Well, no, you could be for somebody who's like, well, they're all going to cannibalize each other, and I don't really want any of them because I don't think the offense is going to be that good because Gino wasn't that great. And Sam Howell, that's not me, but that's like, when Pete was trashing all of the second round picks, he was saying he could trash all of them on your stream last week or whatever. You can do that with teams. You can kind of put yourself in the shoes of the people that want to be the most negative, and you can do it on Seattle. I think it's probably wrong, but it's tough though because I've got some Sam Howell truther left in me, combined with the JSN believer.
That's a
And
dangerous cocktail right there.
combined with being scarred by Geno Smith in high stakes redraft 2-team quarterback.
Oh God.
From a decade ago. I think I mentioned that when we talked last time. Like drafting Geno and the Jets, and then
yeah, you have deep Geno.
So do we take Kincaid if he falls to us here?
Yeah,
I don't know if that's I guess irrelevant. Go on. All right.
Are there any other tight ends here? Oh, I mean, I'm sure there's a tight end here, but
Pitts. Yeah, no. We could get Kittle on the next pick to go with Gibbs.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think through.
We could get 3 tight ends potentially. When I get 2 quarterbacks, like I hate having 3 and 3, but I don't mind like 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
So we're on the clock.
Okay, so receivers top of the queue are Reed and Worthy. Don't love Reed, but I feel like he's perfectly cromulent.
Oof.
Or do you prefer Worthy?
Well, we're starting to stack up the buys.
Oh shit! Okay, they're both 6 and 10. Okay, do you want to go running?
I would rather have Worthy.
Okay.
Just take Worthy.
And then
so now we've got 2 guys. We've got week 6, so we're week 6.
So no more week 6.
Avoid week 6.
I was gonna say because running back there's Mixon and Rashad White at the top of the queue.
Yeah, but since we already have one, I mean, I'm just not as
inclined to take one of these.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go tight end, or do you just want to keep? Do you want to keep up at receiver and just cover off early at receiver?
We've got 2 in week 6 bye, so that is kind of rough.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
We're on the clock. What do we?
We can't go another week 6 bye.
I kind of want to take Kittle. Because we have no week 9. He goes with Gibbs.
Okay.
And
yeah, I like that.
Then we've got at least an elite tight end, even though he is not exactly a reliable week in, week out kind of guy.
I think it goes with the upside conversation though. Like he can.
Yeah.
He can.
And I don't usually take him before Pitts, but just the game stack, the fact that we already have 1 week 12 bye player, I'd rather reserve it for like a skinny stack with Josh potentially.
I agree.
I'm think sure Coleman will be gone, but we could potentially, a Samuel or a Shakir.
Yeah, stack them up later on. Okay, so we are at Josh Allen, Gibbs, Puka, DK, Xavier Worthy, and then George Kittle through 6 rounds. And we have 2 week 6 buys, 2 week 10 buys, which are 2.
No, do we have 2 10s? No.
Oh no.
The only thing we're doubled up on is 6 right now.
Only double. Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
People say keep writing off G Money. I mean, Gino Gino Fant. Yeah, okay. You're speaking my language here, Hoosier, but I don't know if you're speaking David's language.
I mean,
Someone,
I like I really like Fant, and I find myself arguing with people that are much more pessimistic about Fant than it seems like the drafting community has become in the last few months. And I don't really know what's happened because I think the situation he's so squeezed. And I really do think he's a good player, but he's just so squeezed there. So almost like, why, after years of me drafting Fant more than everybody else, has it gotten to the point where he's no longer available at the very end of the draft for me? Like, what happened? Like,
yeah,
I just don't. I don't know. I don't find myself taking him anymore because he's not an 18th round pick. He's what is he, like 16th round pick or something now?
I think he usually goes like between like 180, 190.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't.
don't like him as much there.
Well, it's just like people like he got paid, and I'm like, yes, as he should have. But the fact remains that there's three receivers. Charbonnet and Walker both do get targets, and I don't know. He needs a sustained like receiver injury to probably be a difference maker
Yeah.
in that round. That you can get if your 18th round tight end needs to either provide some kind of a floor, I think, like some kind of a floor, or like have that just happen to have that playoff week spike. I mean, does Fant have a 2 touchdown game on his resume?
Ever?
Yeah.
Ever? Yes. I
Does he?
last year. Let's see. Let me pull up.
We're about to be on the clock, so
Okay.
don't pull it up yet.
I'm not gonna pull it up on
We've been talking about nothing to do with it. We got stuck on Noah Fant for
I
too
mean,
long.
to be fair, that is very on brand. So, okay.
Who's just giving us some time to think here? We've got what have we got? Let's look at
Njoku's week 10.
yeah.
Njoku and Bowers are both week 10.
I don't think we really want tight end right now.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Oh man, I don't feel great about.
We could take a. Do you want to do JMO and that's our 2 lines, our 2 week 5, or you want to drop down and take like a reach on like a Warren? We got 5 seconds.
Let's go JMO.
Warren.
Let's go JMO.
All right.
What are your vibes on JMO? Because like I'm a Lions fan and I just still hate JMO. So like I don't know like if I don't know if I can.
The vibes seem to be at an almost all-time high at the moment. Hence his ADP having reached this point. But for me, it's mostly just like a team thing. If JMO was not getting, if it weren't for Gibbs, I'm trying to think of. There's almost no team where I'm drafting JMO where I haven't drafted Niners or Lions already.
Just
right?
one off.
Yeah, like let me get this JMO to then get Goff. No, I'm not doing that.
Okay, so
But what do you want to do?
I mean,
I want to get Warren personally, but
okay,
you seem to have other.
I'm
feelings.
fine. I'm fine with Warren. I was gonna say Rice, but I don't know if we want to get
Worthy and Rice. You want to double stack the Chiefs there? You want to?
I don't know if we don't need to. It's fine. We can go Warren. I took the DK.
Warren helps us stay on track for me with a very
With the
small
running
number
backs,
of running backs. Yeah.
Who made up for the DK swing? Yeah, if you want to appease the viewers, just talk about Jalen Warren. Like everyone loves Jalen Warren.
Yeah, that's another one. I mean, like I can't get him as much now because he goes so early, and I've somewhat accepted it, but that's mostly because very often I will have a Worthy or a Rice already. So it's like, you want, and I'm needing running backs in that range. So you kind of just, you get the pair with the Chiefs and fill in a running back spot. So now we have 2 week 9 buys between Kittle and Warren. So this draft has turned into a spread out the buys draft, but also we have a Lions Niners thing.
Yeah, we don't
We
have
should think
no.
about some of these other games.
I was gonna say no Seattle, Chicago yet.
Chicago would be good because they're week 7 and we have no week
And
7.
then
I wasn't even thinking about Swift. I have not been drafting Swift much at all, but he would have been.
he would have made sense there too. Yeah.
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 Oh yeah, we've got Warren and Worthy. See that happens without even trying to do it because I always want Worthy, and then the Warren needing the running backs in that range. So
Yeah.
we've got that one.
Swift is such a weird one for me too. Like I just feel like I'm like I was very in and then I was out. I feel like every other year I'm in and I'm out. So I was out last year, so I should be back in, especially because he's way cheaper.
Yeah, I was way in because, I mean, Eagles. Also, yeah, he was. That was a weird year. It was a weird year because it looked like he was going to be a big hit, and then
he slowed down. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he was kind of like, as it turned out, I guess I would say he was a fair pick at his cost. But the people that chased him up to that spot were hoping it was going to be better than that. What he settled like 6th round?
Yeah.
Was that what it was? Yeah.
I think around there. Yeah.
So Benson would be cool. He's gone. Starkindler. Nice. Very nice.
How do you feel about if Samuel makes this to us? Do you want to do that?
Probably.
What about
Mike
Pollard?
Williams goes with him in the game, but I am not a person who can project Mike Williams to be on the NFL field in week 17.
I was gonna say I don't think I think he has the injury and the age, so I'm just like I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah. If we took Brock, then we'd just be done. But I would rather not take Brock because I mean I'd rather take Goff. If you want to take a quarterback from that game, I'd rather take Goff later.
Same. I
Samuel's
agree.
gone. How do you feel about Shakir?
Oh,
I feel like it's a terrible value.
I don't feel great about it. I feel like I'd rather.
Would you
go
take him with the next pick or no? We have no week 14 right now, and B Rob is interesting.
I was gonna say, I'm fine with B Rob or Pollard.
Let's do B Rob because Pollard's a week 5. We have no week 14.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. That's
Let's
fine.
do B-Rob.
I don't view them very differently at all. So
Yeah, I love that we have these 3 running backs right now. I think honestly, when I have a team like this, I'm comfortable with 4 running backs, but probably for Eliminator we want 5.
yeah, the thing is like, yeah, this is a very solid 3. And then let's see what falls to us in like the pre 160 range.
What are you thinking coming up here?
I mean, I feel like I would take Pollard or Spears, or I'm trying to see what. I mean, we could
Pollard's
take.
gone, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
he just went. He just went. Okay, so I mean, we could do Spears. These wide receivers. I mean,
And then be done at running back.
if you want,
or
yeah, because I don't know, like
max one
Shakir, like
more.
is it really worth it just to do Shakir just to get the stack? Like I don't think so, but
No, it's probably worth it more to not have to draft as many running backs.
yeah, let's.
But
go
that's
Spears.
another week 5 buy
Oh
though.
shit. Okay.
What do you think
go
about?
Purdy then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Nope.
Oh, we got Spears. Oh well, we're all right. Well, we're a little heavy on week 5 now. Shoot, that's 2 drafts with you so far and 2 timeouts. That's all right. All right. Well, I think we probably are gonna need
a fifth
a
for week
fifth
5.
because we doubled up on the bye.
So we
Probably. And we don't need it, but we probably want it. I don't know.
I mean, who is it? It's Warren and B Rob. Like you just
Yeah.
have to not finish what in week 5. Let me pull up the what's the advance rate for week 5? It's 6 out of 8. It's only 2. You just have to finish top 6.
We're probably gonna end up with a fifth running back.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
All right, let's think a little bit. Let's talk about this team. We've got.
Why don't you run through it really quick?
Yeah. All right. Allen, Gibbs, Warren, Robinson, Spears at running back. Almost done there. Definitely need receivers, but we've got Puka, DK, Xavier Worthy, JMO, and then Kittle. So, what are the games that we haven't built out? You're talking about Chicago. Chicago
Right.
pieces left is basically Cole Kmet, right?
Pretty much.
And then like their later running backs.
Yeah, I mean that could be a good like a Roshan as our fifth.
Just random. Yeah.
We could go. I feel like Goff if he falls.
Yeah, it would definitely make some sense to take him, but
he's also week 5.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, for quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah. Although maybe we really should be thinking about how low can we go since we took Josh. Like, what's the
true?
Like,
I
do
know.
we dare take?
You know what? I
like
think especially being we only have 4 receivers. I think we should go receiver.
Somebody take off Starkindler. He's just playing with us.
So okay, so let's think through buys here for receiver. While we have a moment, Wicks. Do we have any week 10?
Yes. DK is week 10.
Okay, so we have 6, 10, and 5, but we could double. Downs is week 14.
Yeah. They play the Giants. What are the Giants? Giants are 12. And we don't have any 12 yet.
Yeah,
well, we have Josh, but we don't have any other
position players. Yeah.
Yeah. Leggett, your boy Leggett, kicking around.
Yeah, we could. I'm
have any week 11.
I'm fine with Downs.
We could try to get them both.
Yeah. Do you want to go? You want to go Downs first?
Sure.
I like Downs a lot. Jacob Sanderson has Wicks, Downs, and Leggett all like near pick 100 in his ranks.
It's hard when you think players are good, but then there's like another player that might be good, and we don't know like what the total like pass volume is. Gonna be like I feel like Downs is in this spot where if there was no Adonai Mitchell that got drafted.
Oh yeah.
I mean, where's he getting drafted now? Like
if there's no 80 Mitchell, probably
round 8?
Probably between 90 and 100 probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe higher.
But there's a lot of buzz with Mitchell lately, it seems. So
I mean, they have Reggie Wayne as their wide receiver coach. So if you're gonna have someone
that is definitely the kind of thing that like helps you, lean into the hope. Yeah, you're just like, oh, that dude's he should be able to teach anybody, right? Like
should. Okay.
Leggett. What is the correct pronunciation of this man's last name?
You know what? I say Leggett, but I don't know if that's right.
I heard somebody say it was Leggett. Or is that who we're going with?
I'm down for it. If you're down, I'm down.
The bye works out well since we have no 11 yet.
I don't know if I should keep it quiet or if you want to mute it. Do you want me to? Can I rip the clip?
Do it.
Oh no, man! I woke up ready, man. I got a call right after I got dressed. They was coming to pick me up at 9:30 in the morning. I told them I'm gonna be ready.
Oh, over under on did we wake up the kids? I remember I was streaming late a couple of weeks ago, and I played the Alex Jones clip, and you were like, that was a lot louder
Dude.
than I was expecting.
Yeah, well, I don't know, like, you're the one that kind of like putting the clips together, but like, I don't know how it works with like the initial play volume being like louder than the regular stream volume, but yeah, that was like disparity was there.
Yeah, I think it was.
Especially the funny thing is like the first time I heard it, um, I wasn't watching it, it was just like
You're
the
just
phone's in my
listening.
pocket, I've got my AirPods in, and then suddenly it's just like someone repeatedly screaming. And the funny thing is like I know that scream, but I'm not sure who it is.
It is a very recognizable stream, yeah. So you're saying that I owe you for you have to go to the ear doctor because of me.
No, I mean it's that's a hazard of listening to podcasts or streams constantly while you're doing chores. You might
What's
have Alex Jones blowing your eardrums out a moment's notice.
what's in your is your podcast rotation just streams and fantasy content, or do you dive into any whatever, like any other stuff?
It's pretty steadily fantasy, but I guess what has happened is that I will I've reached a saturation point, I guess, where I've had to go into sort of like the Devi zone a bit. And So there have been points where I'm just like, I can't listen to anything more about like at the end of like the draft season, I was like, I can't listen to anything more about 2024. I need to find out about
You need to go.
2025, 26, 27 and beyond, guys. Like, so yeah, so I still am like adding different like content people to the rotation, but most of the it's like there's definitely been people that have popped up in the last months doing more streaming stuff, but I'm also been on the lookout for some different Devi people. So if we're in the middle of the draft, I'd probably go look and shout some people out. But
How many Devi leagues are you in?
well, I'm not. I'm in only one. I joined by dispersal this off season,
Oh,
but
nice.
it's more just like I want to know the players, even just in terms of valuing like future classes, knowing what to expect for next year in best ball or whatever. I mean, I probably I'm more at home in like the pre-draft stuff almost than like once everybody else learns about who these people are and we're in June or July or August, like, I can't impress people as much with the names I know that they don't,
With
that's
your
how.
early Dylan
Yeah.
Lauby alpha.
Yeah. So you got to dip into like the next batch of college players. But
Um,
it's been enjoyable to start to follow college a little bit more, and with the expanded playoff, I think next year's gonna be fun. So
I think so.
here
Okay,
we are
so
on
we
the
are back
clock.
up.
I just have the receivers clicked on. Let's click on
Gabe
some other.
Davis is week 12, but he's way past ADP. And we said that ADP might not
He
necessarily.
goes with Spears,
And
right?
as long as we don't have another week, yeah,
We
it's
only
only.
have Josh.
I think that makes sense. Yeah,
All right, let's do it.
we were
Free
talking him
Gabe
up
Davis.
pre draft. So
Yeah, we're getting 3 touchdowns, along with 3 from DK, and that's how we're winning. 2 on the ground, or 1 in the air, 1 on the ground for Spears, 3 through the air for Gabe Davis, and 3 for DK.
yeah, we recovered at receiver. I like that those 3 that we just took, especially with Gabe falling so far.
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
can we? Oh, we have 2 14s. We have to have 3 the math only works if you have 3 on certain weeks. My favorite tight end that I was talking about sitting there. Ray Davis could be our last running back.
Yeah, that's actually a good one.
With Josh. Then the theory is Josh doesn't score 2 on the ground only in the weeks where Ray Davis scores 2.
I think Ray makes sense, yeah. And then we're done.
I hate passing on Ben Sinnott, especially because we already took B-Rob. All right, so we're done. Week 12 buys full. We got room for week 9 buy. We have no week 7.
I was gonna say
we don't pick for a long time again.
Yeah. I just agreed to do a Debbie League with Ron Stewart.
I saw him post something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've never commissioned a Debbie League, and Ferris, so I'm sure you've seen in the chat, and he's in our league we're doing right now. He's commissioned a few, so he's gonna run the Debbie side of things, and I'll run the sleeper side of things. So that'll be my first Debbie.
You have to do it like offline, or not off. You have to do it like separate from sleeper,
like an Excel document or whatever. Yeah.
Oh boy, it's funny because all the sleeper people hate on MFL, but MFL has the Debbie stuff, right?
Yep, they do. But now we just need them to merge and just like get their shit together.
See what Star Kindler's got here. Oh my goodness, he's got Mahomes, Kyler, and Goff.
Bully QB strategy.
He took Goff, before us. Kyron, Cook, Rashad White. I love his running.
Is Star Kindler the one who said he was multi-tabling these?
I don't know. He's got. I like his running backs. Amon-Ra Watt.
We got Eric in here at the 104 spot. Okay.
I'm gonna down the Dotson pick, but it was a value. No, I like his team. Casey's got Dak, Travis,
Mostert, Zeke.
Vidal. Oh, why does it do that? I like need.
Why don't you just go to the board and then you can
I'm an amateur hour over here. Draft board but it makes it harder to see. I don't know how many picks away are we. Whatever. Let's just go for this for a second here. Oh, this is taking a while. There we go. All right. Where are we here? My goodness.
There you go.
All right. Casey takes Hunter Henry as his second tight end. We need a tight end.
Yes, we definitely do. And Hunter Henry would have been nice.
You know what? I am not going to. We'll look at people's teams in a minute. I'm going to worry about ours.
Let's get our shit together.
Yeah. I'm much more confident in my ability to draft than my ability to stream and draft. So let's just look at the players we can pick. So we've got
tight end.
Wandale is the bring back on
Downs.
On Downs.
He's week 11 bye.
Yeah.
We have Leggett on week 11 bye.
Yeah.
But we only have one.
McCaffrey is another 14, but we only have 2 right now, right? And he goes with B-Rob.
Yeah.
Herbert, we were talking about. Oh, no, we finished off running back.
Yeah, I'm fine with Wandale or McCaffrey. I have literally no lean there at all. Like I'm just like, I guess slight to. Well, they're both bringbacks, or no, one's a team.
One's a team stack. One's a bring back. But we can get Hyatt later potentially. Let's take McCaffrey.
Okay.
We could potentially take Wandale on the next pick.
Yeah. Balls.
Just gonna let it run out on McCaffrey.
I
keep forgetting about Tyrone Tracy and then missing him
Why? Because he goes too early.
I'm either done at running back, or then I'm like, oh yeah, I want him as my last running back, and then somebody gets him. By the time maybe it's happening to other people, they forget about him until he shows up in the ADP queue, and then
I feel like he
then they
goes in
want
like a
him.
range where I'm like, I feel like he should be like, I know he's
You
where
know
he
what's
is.
funny? Talking about Fant and talking about not wanting to take him, and finding ourselves in this position where we only have the 2 week 10s, right?
Yeah, I think Fant would make a lot of sense here.
No, we only have one.
Yeah,
We only have DK still.
yeah, and he goes with DK.
So we could take Wandale, or we could take Fant. What do you want to do?
I kind of feel like Fant, but I don't know.
Right. Gosh.
Were you thinking the other one?
No, I just can't believe how I just went on this whole thing about Fant, and he's no floor, and he's never had a 2 touchdown game.
No.
Click. He's on the team. Welcome to the team, Noah.
That's honestly that is classic streamer. You shit talk someone, then you end up taking him later.
Yeah, I'm just like, I just can't take him. Not here, not in this contest. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And it really does still tie back to you having us take DK, so I'm absolved.
Exactly. If I wouldn't have pushed the DK pick, then we wouldn't have taken Fant.
It's good though. This is exactly what Pete talked about, because I've stopped taking these players that I actually don't dislike, and sometimes you just go a little bit too far in the fade. I can't go hit him with the gritty and take 88% of a player, but I can definitely fade full fade a player, or almost full fade a player very easily,
100%.
Not even thinking about it. So sometimes when you know that player is a good player, that's probably a mistake. You probably need to not full fade them, So get some DK through another drafters, take it. Still get some Fant here and there.
Yeah. I just realized we didn't roll the Detroit clip earlier, so I'm gonna pay homage to my Detroit roots and run the clip.
You can't mess with, I'm a Detroit player. Stacking my paper, stacking so high, I need a fucking elevator. I'm a deep boy, I'm a deep boy.
Yeah, what up, Big Shine? What up?
Shout out D-Town.
All right. We probably want to take Bryce, maybe?
Yeah, we have Leggett, yeah.
Realizing we need another quarterback.
We didn't take Wandale, otherwise we could have taken Daniel Jones, but I guess we could just still take him.
Yeah. I feel better about Bryce Young being out there than Daniel Jones.
I do too.
It's funny how we talk about him being so small and fragile, but I mean Daniel Jones, the neck stuff freaks me out,
100%.
And
yeah, and you took Bryce Young in our startup, didn't you?
yeah, no, and now I don't need to be associated with being a big Bryce Young guy, but that was almost I had, I think, 2 or 3 on dynasty teams from last year's rookie drafts, and then I traded one of them. It's kind of yeah, I can get another one, balance it out a little bit, but I am cautiously optimistic that they should have a functional offense where their quarterback is a good pick in round 17,
I'm on board as well. I mean,
that could still end up with him being an NFL, and Bryce Young's gone. He could still be sort of an overall bust, down the line, and have some decent years, or functional years. So now we are.
I agree.
We are.
Really, I mean,
well, okay, no, I will take Drake May
I was gonna say I think we take
by
May.
week 12. By week 12, Drake May is playing. Yeah, let's take Drake May.
I think that
And
makes.
then there's probably a guy we can stack with him, right?
We have young Josh Allen and old Josh Allen.
Do we want a third tight end with Kittle and Fant? It feels a little sketch. I don't know.
It does feel a little sketch, and we since if we're going 2 QB, I feel fine going 3 tight ends as long as there's anybody that I like here at all.
Yeah,
And let's also make sure he doesn't have the same buy as one of the other ones.
It's funny now. I talked about Jatavion Sanders, and now I'm like, well, we got Leggett. We only have 1 week 11 bye.
So wait, by 9 and 10 are the buys. So
I don't think we want to take Dawson Knox, but I mean, we have no other bills. I can't take Dawson Knox.
Really, I feel like I could. I feel like I could take him.
Really?
I mean, who else do we have?
All right, we're not taking a quarterback. We're not taking a running back. Is there any receiver here that like we would rather have as a ninth receiver? Slayton rather than another tight end?
No, I feel like I'd rather go Knox or JT Sanders.
Or I'm going to make a big mistake here. Knox or JT Sanders?
Go JT Sanders. You were shit talking him earlier, and now we.
All right, we Fant and Sanders. What a weird.
Oh, that was close. That was real close.
Oh man! All right.
Let's run.
It's really funny how your feelings about a team can change over the course of a draft.
It's a roller coaster.
All right, we'll go over ours and then we can look at the board. Hoosier gets my favorite 18th round pick, Will Shipley chasing. All right, we got Josh Allen and Drake May, Gibbs, Warren, B-Rob, Spears, and Ray Davis at running back. Puka, DK, Xavier Worthy, J-Mo, Josh Downs, Xavier, Leggett, Gabe Davis, Luke McCaffrey, and Kittle, Fant, and Jatavion Sanders at tight end.
What are your thoughts? New record for lowest projected scoring streamer team. We're getting cooked in the chat.
Well, you know what? It really is all for them anyway.
You got to join our draft so you can get that sweet EV.
I mean, I think it's a pretty good team. Whatever that means, right? The receivers, when I see those, all right.
You gotta wait for it. It's fine. You just wait for it to finish. It'll finish in a second.
Well, we can look at this one from last week. Stroud and Kyler. It feels better than Josh and Drake May, but I'm not sure it actually is at cost. Tyler's another Warren team. Corum, Charbonnet,
Kendre, Bucky Irving.
Ooh, the receivers here make me feel a little better.
Michael Wilson. Oof. Oh yeah, these receivers.
No, the beginning though, and then the end. The same thing happened. This must happen. I probably do this a lot, where I get like the first half of my receivers are strong, and then it's like the back half could be 3 out of 4 could be dead roster spots. You know,
I feel like the receivers we got in the one we just did I feel pretty good about the receivers in that one.
Yeah, but then it's also like you can see a world where Leggett does nothing. Gabe Davis is like not an impact player there, and Luke McCaffrey is nothing.
And Downs is
and
AD Mitchell is the guy.
Here we go. It says I've done 2, but now it won't show me 2. The old refresh.
Come on, internet.
There we go.
Tyler's saying punt tight end works well in this format. He thinks. Isn't that? I'm interested to hear the conflicting opinion, because we were kind of saying we didn't think it worked well. Yeah. Let's see. Casey has Lamb.
Evans, Devonta, ETN, Cooper, Tom. Very strong receivers. Ingram, Mostert, Dak, Zeke. I have not clicked Zeke yet this year.
Really?
Yeah. Lawrence, Polk, Gibbs. I think what happens, and this should maybe be logical, but he's finished off with Lauby. All right. I realize I'm reading his team and I just trail off and stop reading it. It's great podcast or great streaming, I'm sure. What happens is I'm feeling bad about our team. We get to the end of the draft, and really what it is, the players in the later rounds are not as good as the players in the
You're like, Wandale Robinson, not
it's a
great.
dude, it's a reminder that like this early there is a lot about these later rounds that is super murky. I mean, Foreman, I've not taken Foreman yet this year. I took him some last year.
I've been taking him, but now he's
quick.
been moving up a little bit, which doesn't, like you said about
Big
Fan,
swing.
where he was 18th round and barely, like I think he was drafted like less than 20% of the time, and now he's like up to like 50% of the time, and I'm like, that doesn't feel good.
So much about like the end of draft is like everyone's personal feelings, you know. I mean, some people's are going to turn out to align with reality, and others are not. But it's like I look at these names and I'm like, what story are they telling themselves? But then I look at other names and I just see this beautiful story unfolding, you know. So it's to each their own, I guess.
It really is a Rorschach test. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it's easier for me to look at the teams when I just click on the name and scroll down. Like I can't deal with the draft board. Let's see.
No, that's now that the draft's over, that's the way to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Stark Kindler.
So much. I feel like, you know, tight end is like you have to scroll down. You almost like got to start at tight end, you know. If you start at the top, you know, you go, oh, nice quarterbacks, oh, nice running backs, nice wide receivers. You can get down. So this works, I think, but it does still feel sketchy, you know.
Yeah.
Anytime you don't have the elite, and even Goddard's so tough because he's borderline elite when one wide receiver is out. But when everybody's there, he can just disappear some games.
Yeah, he'll get like 3 targets. Yeah.
So, all right. So that's Stark Kindler. So Hoosier started with
Hurts, Rodgers.
Hurts and Rodgers. Gotta love Hurts at 40. I think he took him right after we took Josh.
Yep.
Got the falling Breeze. So he went 6 running backs.
Yeah, with 2 early.
With Brees and JT. I have not clicked Ramondre this year. I'm on the early side on Kendre, but I don't mind that at all. I feel like in that range from like the one really around after 100 up to like Marshawn Lloyd, Jalen Wright, there's just like I wish I had more picks to take more running backs.
Yeah, that's a really nice range. It's just it plays out weird because like a lot of times I'm taking running backs in like the 90 to like 110, 120 range. So then it's like whatever. Usually I have enough where I'm like, okay, I can hold off for a little bit, but it's like I also want the guys in that range as well. So
Johnny Wilson and Will Shipley is pretty aggressive for an eliminator, I will say.
what if
with the week 5 buys? I mean, I guess it's irrelevant that they're week 5 buy. To me, it's like they're probably not showing up until sometime after the buy anyway.
I was gonna say, you're talking about Will Shipley chasing, but is it him or Gainwell as the RB2 there even?
The way that I view it, which I feel fairly confident in, is that Gainwell has demonstrated an inability to seize a more than 50% share of that backfield for more than a single game. So I think that in the event of Saquon Barkley injury, I would go with Will Shipley as like the more likely back to be worth more in like a multi-game absence. And the only one of the two that would like
Really,
I think could be like a league winning type play. Yeah.
I mean,
Because
I really
I
like
think Shipley, I think Shipley could be I'm just imagining somebody doing a little bit more than Gainwell did in some of the bigger workload games that he got. And that could play, you know. Who else do we have in here before we abandoned the draft board?
Gobbler,
Stafford,
Stafford.
Baker, Carr.
So he's got okay.
So that's kind of that like floor QB thing that I think probably works fairly well.
Yeah, that's
I
like
mean,
seems like all three like the
thing
range.
that is you see though that he probably felt like he had to click Stafford by 134. Does he have Cup? Does he have, yeah, he's got
Cup. Yeah, okay.
So, but that's it's tough because you wait, but then eventually you don't really feel that comfortable waiting. You went with the that running back range.
I like those. I like those running
I
backs.
don't
Yeah.
know why so many though. I feel like Walker. If I had Walker, Mixon, Harris,
And
and
Singletary.
Singletary, who I haven't clicked, I don't think in the post draft contests. There's not. I'm not adding Clyde. Also, does he have a Browns or something? He's bringing that back.
Yeah, I think
Not
I'm stopping
Browns.
at.
No,
I
Steelers.
think I'm stopping
He's
at
got
5.
Najee. Yeah, so it's just Najee and Clyde. Is a Najee Clyde game, week 17? I hope not. For all of our souls, I hope that is not.
Imagine. Okay.
I
Then
love the receivers though, yeah, or at least the start of them.
wait.
He
Then
goes
wait.
pretty
Let's
thin.
no. Keep scrolling down though, because then it's
Wilson,
Dobbs.
Ayuk, Flowers, Cup, Dobbs, Raymond. I mean, Raymond is
That seems pretty thin.
I think, I would not want Raymond as my 6th. I
Yeah.
would be taking I'd be taking a receiver in the Singletary pick or just adding a 7th with the Clyde or Herbert pick, probably.
Ferg, Schultz.
Yeah, that's an eliminator ass tight end right there. You get that. He gets that badge. Yeah. All right. I don't know if we know any of these other folks. I don't know if we do.
I don't.
Yeah, I've got a couple palm picks to make, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Oh hell, we're getting a slow draft chasing.
I think I've got some stuff queued here. So this team, go to draft. No. We got Daniels, Brees Hall, Mixon, Brooks, Spears. So that's a room that like I might add a 5th, but I might not. That's how I am with that room.
Yeah, no, that's really solid.
Nico, Devonta, Tank, Coleman with Brees. And then I've got Ferguson with Devonta. So
I feel like this is receiver.
Yeah, I kind of wanted Schultz just to go like whole hog on the Texans, but it's not really necessary.
I mean, then you could be done at tight end and just have 2.
I could be, but I also could. I have Daniels, and I could just try to go for Sanat later. I have Dotson starred almost as like and Dowdle and Cooks, but I really don't.
I'm trying to think.
I haven't drafted Dowdle since way pre-draft when he was super cheap.
So you're not drafting either of the. You're not drafting Zeke or Dowdle.
I said I haven't. That not makes it sound like a commitment to not do it in the future. That's why he's in the queue. It's partly I was like, you know what, I should actually talk through the fact that I haven't
up
been
your
taking
Dowdle.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think I can do it on this type of team because it's like I don't need a running back here.
No, you got to push
And
it.
the other thing about drafting a guy to be a week 17 like bring back or part of week 17 thing is like that's a different thesis potentially than just like Rico Dowdle is a cromulent regular season pick at 141. You know, he could be, but I don't necessarily think he's going to be a good week 17 play. Just like I
No.
don't think Zeke is going to be a good week 17 play. I feel like
Deuce Vaughn season.
no, I
I
just feel like if that game is getting where we want it to, it's like it's through CeeDee Lamb.
Well, I mean,
probably,
I would
right?
hope so.
Yeah. But yeah, we've got Cooks and Dowdle in there because of the Eagles Cowboys, Dotson because of Daniels, but I really don't like Dotson's ADP.
Yeah,
And why did I have Leggett? Oh, because of Brooks.
because of Brooks. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think.
And then
Tennessee, you don't have anything.
I think I had Gabe Davis starred. Maybe he got drafted. Maybe I didn't have him starred. Maybe he's just further down. Yeah, he's right. He's actually right ahead of Leggett. Need to learn how to say his name for sure, so I can say it one way.
I feel like I'm going receiver personally. This is your team, so you do what you want. But I mean, yeah, Dotson is pretty gross, but yeah, Cooks, Dotson. I just prefer Leggett over those guys.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to take Leggett, and I think I thought that was probably who I would take when I start him, because again, going with the idea of like what's happening in week 17, if the Panthers are, you know,
Better than you think.
exceeding expectations or like performing well, at least, there's, you know, you'd like to believe that it's like their new players are helping them get there. So Brooks and
Yeah,
the young
Rookie
wide
upside
receiver
for
from
both
South
of them.
Carolina. All right, so that's done. So
got one more slow
another
pick.
one. Only one name in the queue. Mr. Brock. Mahomes, Kyron, Zamir White. That's somebody that might be my first post-draft click of Zamir White.
Dude, I don't think I've taken him a single time.
And that's because I don't really take Adams, but I did take him here in part because he was a little past ADP and because I like never take him. And I was kind of like, well, let's see what happens when I take him. So so I got Worthy and Rice both with Mahomes, and then I got Kittle past ADP.
What other receivers are here?
It's not a great receiver
Oh
zone.
god, yeah, okay.
No.
Never mind. Just
Yep.
ignore receiver.
Yep.
Let's see.
Benson goes with Kyron in week 17, so he's interesting.
Yeah, I feel like I'm Benson or Bowers.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely not getting either one of them, obviously, after
No.
this. If I take Bowers, I'm kind of deciding that I'm done.
I mean, you technically have. Yeah, I feel like this is like purely like just which guy do you like more, which I feel like based on your allegiances, probably Bowers, but
yeah, I mean, I think it's partly just it's like the roster construction thing where I know in the next 3 picks there's going to be more running backs that I want to draft than tight ends.
And you can just be done at tight end if you want.
Yeah. I'm going to take Brock.
Hell yeah. I'm always down for a Brock Bowers pick.
All right.
All righty. Well, David, thank you so much for hopping on, brother. Any closing words for us?
Stop sharing my screen here. Get off of there.
Any closing words for us before we get out of here? on this almost midnight on a Sunday. We still got a lot of people in here. I'm surprised. We got like almost
good.
40 people in here.
That's good. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would think we'll have to just try to bang, a few more of these out over the upcoming weeks and months, and try to keep contributing to the Eliminator meta.
I really like the Sunday night stream. It's pretty nice. Just relaxing, just kick back, just chill out. It's nice.
Yeah, I was thinking about it now. There's just like a whole like content buffet that's like developed, and I was like, there are those few sick people that are going to be up late on a Sunday night watching a stream, even though when they wake up, like they're going to have an entire day of streaming ahead.
Yeah,
of
Mondays
them.
are crazy.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, it's funny in like in the football world, it's like, you wait all day on Monday just for like the week to end. And then in the off season, it's like Monday is like the Sunday. Like Monday is like the red zone day of streaming.
Especially with Pete now going this freaking marathon, like 4-hour
Yeah.
streams, and then Gretsch has been doing a shit ton of his slow draft streams.
No, I think it's smart. I think it's smart for Pete, because it's like you probably feel only like a little more fried after doing that much in a row, but then you're like done so much of what you're trying to do for the week versus like,
just pacing
trying
it
to
out,
like
yeah.
do that many different times, So yeah, he's figuring it out. And it's yeah, it's funny because like people are like unintentionally competing, like you don't really know, like, because like a lot of people are friends or friendly, and then it's like, oh, do they know that like those streams are
At the same
overlapping? It's
time,
like,
yeah.
like
I mean, I feel like some of it's unavoidable because you're just like, okay, well, like there's
Definitely.
only so many times in the day with so many streamers now, but yeah.
yeah. No, it's a fun it's a funny like thing to think about too, of like what role that is playing in the whole ecosystem, because it's only possible for people to be like you and other people to be like getting into it and building up this audience, because there's already like a pretty committed, group of people that are like
Watch
playing these
at
games,
midnight on a Sunday.
but it's theoretically not viable for much longer without that contributing to like, or being part of like the overall growth, continuing. So it's like, I was thinking like, oh, are we reaching a saturation point? But I don't know. I'm not sure that we are yet, It's very tough because like it feels like everyone in the space sometimes is like in all of our conversations, but I mean, in reality, like it's not at all the case. Like there's just all of these different little sectors of the fantasy internet that like maybe are starting to like merge with the product of Underdog, like the big contests that they're offering, and everyone's starting to kind of adopt similar like streaming behavior with these drafts. But yeah, I don't know. Like different people are like, oh, we're still early, and I'm just like, are we? Like, what?
I think it's
where's this whole thing going?
I think it's because like we were really early, like last year, and so people are still kind of saying it. But like, dude, it's crazy. Like, I swear to God, every single person that is in fantasy now is doing best ball stream. Like every single one. So like, maybe we're not.
It's
I think
gotta
we're
feel
still
weird,
a little
though.
bit early, but
Well, I think it almost seems like some of the people that are more like legacy or not, they've already like built up their following. Now they're just like having to get back into, like they're having to like get into this other thing
pivot,
too, to not be left behind, because it's like the thing.
100%.
And you have to like show that you can play best ball, because like that's the cool thing. So it's like, if you can't hang in best ball, if you can't like contribute to like the best ball conversation, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to go extinct and just be like, oh, this guy doesn't play best ball, like he's not tapped into the market, man. Come on.
So how do you feel as someone who's a new like content creator, but you're kind of still like niche and like somewhat advanced, I would say, like not that this is going to come off sounding negative. I'm not trying to say you're not personally like advanced as a fantasy player, but like you're not trying to market yourself as like I'm the best fantasy player, but you are serving a niche of people that are pretty like deep into fantasy, like extremely deep into fantasy.
Yeah.
So like so you're sort of like coming like from this community, but I would think you are also interested in introducing people to stuff for the first time. But that is like a different approach that can be done by the same people, but is like it requires work because it's not the same content, you know? Like you have Pete is producing videos that contain a lot of like the dense information that we're always constantly like
But he
talking
breaks it
about,
down to
debating.
like a simple level where someone new can understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, and detail explains it, says all the things that we all sort of take for granted already, but he actually says all of the things. Like the things that like I remember we got done that stream the first time and somebody said in the chat said something about like and maybe it was one of the comments afterwards, like you didn't really like talk about the contest that much. It was like, oh crap. Yeah, we kind of forgot to do that.
Yeah,
because
we just got
we're just like, oh, we're talking to people that are already sort of at the very least like vaguely familiar with like this how this contest works. So we're like jumping in midstream to this conversation. But yeah, like I don't know, you might have to calibrate that a little bit. You might have to like figure out how to like do like best ball with Bindles like 101, you know, produce some stuff where it's like a little bit more digestible.
I think I definitely don't do that well enough is like kind of like break stuff down to like the like just the simple level so that like everyone can understand it. I feel like I am in the niche space, so like I just like assume everyone knows what the hell I'm talking about. Best ball guy actually I think does a really good job of like it's hard too because like I haven't been solo streaming. And when you're solo streaming, I feel like you just get into a groove of just kind of like filling space and like kind of like you have to explain stuff just because you don't have another person there to
Yeah.
have a conversation with.
Yeah, but even he's operating. So if you listen to him, you'll get it. You'll get enough of it eventually because he's good at like talking through everything that he's doing. But it's still like not
It's not like informative content
like
where you're like,
Pete
this is
and
what
now
I'm
JJ
saying.
Zacharyson and some other people, like they are literally making content for people. Like if you've never played it before, you never played on Underdog, never played best ball, whatever, like, but you have played fantasy football, but he's still, yeah, he's just talking through, kind of like a lot of the logic behind everything once. It's almost like that like second tier, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I think I think as we get closer to like July and August, as we get more people who are newer, I think I'll try to tailor a little bit more of like the evergreen and like informative content.
maybe just figure out this is the stuff I'm always going to point people towards. This is the stuff I'm going to tout. Maybe just constantly sending people towards like if Pete's, you know, whatever videos Pete has last produced or whatever. Because that everyone doesn't have to be for everyone.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just one of those competing things as you're thinking about like trying to grow a channel. Like you, in theory, like you could just decide today, you're like, you know what, I'm just make the next month all about complete noobs to Underdog, you know.
Dude, I think
But
August is going to be crazy. Yeah, like I'm going to try to stream. I know. Ron Stewart says I joke, and everyone calls him Mr. August because he literally streams every single day in August. And like, I'm literally going to try to stream, if not every day, like almost every day, just like suck in all those new viewers coming in. So
yeah, well, you're figuring out a good formula. Sounds like you're going to be able to get some more of your own live drafts in before too long and get some slow draft content to work on. So that'll be good. And I think that might be an opportunity too with some slow drafts because Gretsch is doing the slow drafts, but his audience is, you know, generally already like a lot more advanced. But you could potentially use some of that slow draft stuff to like talk through the concepts on a more
That's
beginner level.
a really good idea, because I mean, yeah, you're not against the clock. Like, you can really that's what I really love about the Gretsch streams as well. Is like he
Yeah.
can go off on a tangent about something, right? Like, and he's not like under a super big time
Yeah.
crunch, unless it's
The
like,
other thing you could do with slow drafts is you can just record yourself making the pick and talking through the pick, and then release it as like a 10-minute video afterwards with like basically your whole draft, already wrapped up.
Dude, the algorithm loves the videos. It doesn't love the stream. So I definitely think that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're doing awesome with what you got going. So, you can only put one thing, you can only put so much on your plate, and so don't overdo it.
Yeah, I'm reaching the point where I'm like, if I really wanted to, I could stream either on my channel or on someone else's channel, like pretty much every day. So I'm trying to just like balance my life and like try to make it like whatever, like at least keep it to like 2 or 3 days per week, where like if I want to double up and do like back to back or like whatever, that's fine. But like try to have some days where I'm just like unplugged for a little bit. So
yeah, definitely. Especially if you're seeing that the algorithm wants you to make some more like videos, then it's like you can potentially like just record a conversation with somebody, and then edit some of that stuff or whatever. Find ways to break it up, make your schedule a little lighter.
I got to get into my editing bag, because that'd be nice to like on a Saturday or Sunday, if I'm just chilling, not doing anything, be able to knock out some stuff and just release it later.
Yeah, it's another thing I don't think about, because you have like the competing demands of like the people, like your immediate audience who like wants new content, and that sense of like, I haven't done a stream and everyone streams at a certain schedule, but like the algorithm would be just as happy as if you just like sat down, did some editing, and then released them as videos. So yeah, these are good problems to have. I'm happy for you.
Thanks, man. No, you've been one of my, if not my number one of my biggest supporters. So I really appreciate you coming on and talking through the strategy stuff with me. And always pumping the Dylan Lauby content as much needed in the space as well. So yeah, this is a busy week for my streaming schedule. We got obviously right now, and then tomorrow at 3 p.m. I am having Neil Orfield on, who I've been doing home and away streams with him every other week. So it's my turn with him this week. So we'll be doing a BBM 5. Then Wednesday, we are having Fantasy Dog Pound on with my good friend and co-host El Coach. And then Thursday, we are doing Super Stack Bros at 7 p.m. with PPR Tyler and Best Ball Guy. I don't think we have collaborated on what we're going to do this week with that, but that will be the time. And then 8:15 on Fantasy Dog Pound's channel, we will be going on his channel for the first time. So excited to chop it up with Pat. I haven't done a stream with him yet. I was supposed to a couple weeks ago, and really excited to get to know him better and draft with him. So, David, thanks so much for hopping on, man. I appreciate you. And let's do another one of these on like a Saturday or Sunday night if you're chilling.
Definitely. Yeah, we'll have to go for a slightly different strategy next time. Keep mixing it up.
Well, I won't make you draft DK Metcalf next time, I promise.
No, apparently what happens is I'm going to talk negatively about somebody in some long stretch of time, unnecessarily long before the draft, and then we're going to draft them. That's how it's going to play out every draft. I can see it.
It's bound to happen.
All right.
All right, everyone. Well, make sure you like the video, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you can catch me if I randomly go live, and make sure you leave a comment after, as that helps boost up the algorithm and push us out to new people. So I really appreciate you guys for checking in on a Sunday night, and we will see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. with Neil Orfield. So have a great night, everyone.